don't know how to free myself, and if I want to anyway, I don't want to anyway. You've got me thinking reckless things of how to stay in your game, and I want to stay in your game.
Sometimes I take myself out because my voice is a bit... I'm from Birmingham originally.
There's nothing wrong with the voice.
So, so on camera that was. It was real. It was real. So you first burst into our screens, onto our screens, sliding down a huge pole.
It's true.
Tell us about London's Burning. Was that your first kind of...
It was my first, I'd say, big gig. I was Andy Sugden's teacher on Emmerdale. Don't anyone Google that at any point. I'm hoping there's nothing on the internet. It was the worst acting performance you've ever seen in your life. He was 11. He now has his own calendar and he's got massive muscles and he's a proper big man. So yeah, I made a lot of mistakes in front of a lot of people on Emmerdale because at the time, with drama school, they didn't really give you much TV training, which is an error because you kind of make your mistakes whilst doing it. So. But certainly by the time I did London's Burning, I'd hopefully had enough experience for it not to be quite so awful.
Who have been your musical influences growing up?
Well, without shadow of a doubt, it was Michael Jackson. I think there's a lot of Michael Jackson fans out there that when they were into him really would not listen to anything else. When I was younger, before that, it was ABBA. But then Michael Jackson was pretty much most of my teenage years that sort of got me into listening to Motown because I went back and listened to Jackson 5 and the Jacksons, and then it got me into Stevie Wonder and Diana Ross and all sorts, and ultimately sort of led me to get into jazz. So yeah, but for a lot of years I refused to listen to anything else, and then Michael Jackson sort of led on to Prince as well, and goodness knows what. I was going to a lot of classical stuff as well, so I don't know, I just had quite a broad interest in music, and I still do.
And do you have a preference over, because you act, you sing, I want to say you dance, but I'm making it up.
I don't dance, no. On my CV it says moves well, which any actor out there will know means can't dance.
Can you clap in time?
I can clap in time,
Yeah.
I've got rhythm. To be fair, I've got rhythm, it's just those big routines. Yeah, they're my absolute nightmare. I'd rather just make it up.
So do you prefer singing, acting? Do you prefer writing songs? What's your absolute mix?
I'd say my absolute favourite thing in the world is being in the studio, because there's something very not just creative, but you're just in that bubble when you're actually producing what it's going to sound like, from having written it just downstairs at home. So the studio is kind of my most favourite thing, but I have to say, and I love the music, but either of them, if I do it too long, I miss the other one, and at the moment, I am missing the acting, because what I miss from that is an ensemble of people. I miss my actors. There's something very nice about being part of a cast of 20 people, yeah, and actors are awesome. Not that musicians aren't, Mike. Musicians are awesome too, but the fact is, it's that kind of buzz of being with a lot of people.
He's gone. He's that upset.
Oh, that's
yeah,
okay.
He's gone.
Talking to yourself now.
He's going to go to protest outside the door.
Won't be the first time.
So, what's been your favourite role that you've played? Favourite character?
Life-changing would be Sam in Lip Service, but fun factor would probably be Becca Gallagher in Ultimate Force, because essentially that was just summers somewhere in Oxfordshire pretending that it was Iraq or wherever. And I used to spend 2 weeks just buzzing around on a motorbike, off-road motorbike, through the forests and stuff like that. That was the reality of the job. So it was ridiculous and ridiculously good fun. Helicopters, guns, dare I say. Even though I'm a complete peacemaker, it was quite good fun.
Hence the surname.
Yeah.
If you could work with anyone, musically, artist-wise, if you could pick anybody at all, who would you most like to work with?
I'd like to get songwriting lessons from Stevie Wonder. I'd like to just go in and I watched a documentary once where there was him and Michael Jackson, like Michael Jackson just walked in the room and he just made up a song on the spot about Michael Jackson walking in the room. I was like, this is insane. Yeah, I think I don't know that it's about, there's loads of people I'd like to work with because there's 1,000,001 talented people. But in terms of like forwarding myself, I'd like to get lessons from Stevie Wonder. I wouldn't see it as working with him, I would just see it as a masterclass.
What really makes you laugh? What's your sense of humour?
Silly stuff, and really, really off-the-wall stuff. I love Ricky Gervais. I'm very excited for David Brent, the movie. I'll probably go see Ab Fab. There's a lot of things that don't make me laugh. A lot of things that do make me laugh. The only thing that probably doesn't make me laugh, I'm not a great fan of sarcasm.
Good.
I find it a bit like, oh yeah, whatever.
Good girl.
Yeah.
If you could play any role in any films that you've seen recently, like Carol, or throw a few in, Notes of a Scandal. There's heterosexual ones as well. Is there a particular part where you've been sat in the cinema and you've gone, God,
I just think I should, like, you know, if Sigourney Weaver's busy, I'll do Alien 5. That's about it. Like, come on. Yeah.
And what really moves you? What gets you crying? If we've talked about laughter.
Stuff that's going on in the world, really. People being violent, people being a disregard for human life, and anything to do with kids. That's quite a heavy one. Yeah.
How old were you when you came out, and how was it received?
I was 19, I kind of didn't really have a clue, and then I became slightly... Girl in my year at college was gay, and I found out she was gay, and then I just sort of started to think, looking at her in a different light, and then she'd make my heart flutter, and then we found ourselves in Manchester on Canal Street one night together, and I don't know why, it was just me and her, because we weren't great friends, and then we ended up snogging on Canal Street in Manchester. And I remember the next day, this is really bad because now it's short, anyway, whatever, I had to go into college in her clothes. And I remember being in my college class thinking, everybody here knows that these are not my clothes, that these are Elaine's clothes. She won't mind me saying that, I'm sure she lives somewhere in the Lake District now, I think. And it was that weird thing of like being in like a movement lesson or whatever we were doing that morning with just all this other stuff sitting in her clothes, like going, oh my God. But it was, you know, college was cool, like everyone was totally cool. It was more of a scandal just because it was two people from the same year. I think anybody getting together at college, that's just how it was. I didn't tell my parents for another 18 months because I thought wrongly that they'd be angry, Catholic upbringing and stuff. They were amazing, and when I finally told them, it was after she left me. So the whole time, actually, that was it, because I didn't even think I was gay. I was just obsessed with Elaine. That was it. That's what I told myself. And then after she left me, I was like, oh no, I don't have a clue. And I started having like panic attacks, I suppose you'd call them, and all that. So yeah, that's when I went home and told my mum and dad and just said, I just kind of need a shoulder. And they were amazing. Pretty much everyone was amazing. Yeah.
Because you dread it, don't you? You just
Oh, it's the
can't.
worst.
And did you have grandparents and stuff like that?
My grandparents never knew. And I did try and tell my nana in the last 2 weeks of her life. I mean, it breaks my mum's heart, this, because it was her mum. And I said to her, we were looking after her while she was, you know. And I said to her, I don't think it matters who you love, Nan, as long as you love someone and it's right. And she knew exactly what I was talking about, and she turned around to me and she went, what you're talking about, Heather, is a sin. I know. And that was the only one and only time that we tried, and then obviously she passed. I don't blame her because she was amazing. She pretty much like was one of my main carers, and she was kind and amazing. It's just a generational thing, it's a Catholic thing, it's whatever you want to say, but I feel a little bit sad about that. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's the questions you're asking.
Sorry, it's because I make documentaries.
No, it's good. Listen, it's fine. I have no problem talking.
So let's lift it. So, Elfest.
Yeah.
How are you feeling before your performance?
No, we're good. We came down from Northern Pride in Newcastle, and the gig went really well last night. It was really packed. There was about 20,000 people there. It was a beautiful daylight day, and I've just come through here today, and the atmosphere is awesome. The setup looks great, and it's what I was saying to you earlier. I know that I can go for it tonight because I don't have a gig tomorrow. That's always a relief when you know that if you rip your voice tonight, it doesn't actually matter. So yeah, that helps the nerves a bit.
It's a room for a good one.
Hopefully, yeah.
Exciting, isn't it? And do you get nervous before you? Because you seem
Yeah.
so relaxed, like unbelievably relaxed.
I think it's more like the nerves build up about an hour before, but I think if I didn't get nervous, I'd start to worry a bit because I think that adds a little bit to the energy that you've got to go on. I think if you're not nervous, then you might be a bit listless. I would honestly worry if I wasn't nervous. It's about what you do with those nerves, whether they make you be unable to do what you're supposed to be doing or whether you channel them to give you more energy. And I have struggled with that at times, you know, I've struggled from proper stage fright where it's almost made me incapable. But yeah, you just sort it out, just rewiring.
Yeah, what do you do? Like,
I actually had NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, because and it's with an actor who was in London's Burning with me, who that's what he does now for performers and for sports, you know, professional athletes, because everybody feels the same, everybody gets that same feeling, and then it's where you channel it. And it happened after the music first sort of started taking off, and I wasn't sleeping, and I was really paralysed by it. It was horrible, and then that stops you looking forward to it, which is always going to come across when you're on stage. So, but yeah, he just managed to get me to think about it in the right way again, because he's like, you've always had this, so let's channel it back to where it was. Why is it making you feel like this? So yeah, it was good. Yeah.
that's bloody brilliant. Because
Yeah.
I think when you watch X Factor or something like that, and someone comes out on stage, you are toe curling. You know, when they suddenly can't, and you literally.
Yeah, it can be paralysing, and I know that for a lot of people. With my wife, it was public speaking. You know, she's an absolutely awesome teacher, but she used to get nervous if she had to speak in front of a group. She could speak in front of 400 kids in a school hall, but if it was 20 adults, suddenly that was where her sort of. So she yeah, I think everybody goes through it a bit.
Oh, I've got it now. Terrible. So just as a last one, tell us about. So you've got a baby.
Yep.
Tell us about that. How's life right now? How's life at home?
Yeah, it's been life changing, you know. The only way I can describe it is that every day starts brilliantly. So no matter how you feel when you wake up, if you're a bit achy or tired or whatever, there's Annie's face, and she's like, oh, giddy. She's always giddy in the morning. The way I wake up is I just hear chatting. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, hello. And she's like, and honestly, that starts your day. I essentially has made me probably the happiest I've ever been, because that's my start every day. So I can't fail but feel happy. Yeah, it's been amazing. She's amazing.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you. What a lovely ending.